Hello, it's Emma Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and today I am going to be showing you how to make this delightful love in a box. It's a love heart shrink plastic in a lovely little matchbox. So this is a lovely little box that we've decorated using some dreamscape papers and the Blue Orbs stamp and some Cosmic Shimmer Metallic Gilding Polishes. Whew, that's a mouthful. And of course, the posca pens. So we've decorated it with that, filled it with some blue shredded paper, and in there we've popped a heart. Just as a little gift, a sort of token of affection for when words just aren't enough. This is the sort of thing that could work for so many things. Valentine's Day, I don't know, a gift for people that are going on a journey, just something that reminds them that they are cared about. I think it's lovely. Anyway, let me show you how it's done. So here we go, we have the heart sticker stencil, and we're going to take everything off and just use the outside edge, putting it onto the white side of our Sizzix shrink plastic. And I'm using jet black archival ink and the Blue Orbs stamp, just stamping up. Right, well, I'm going to be kind to my stamp, and I'm going to give it a bit of a warm-up and stamp first of all onto some card, just because I want to make certain sure that this stamp is ready to stamp on shrink plastic, and also that I know what I'm doing. There we go. So here we go, Blue Orbs, and I'm just going to stamp it all around the outside of this heart. And I'm going to do it super speedy so that you can actually see what I mean. So there we go, the super speedy. And don't forget that when you're stamping on this sticker stencil, it's a good idea to try and get that archival off, or at least most of it off, while you can, while it's still fresh. So I've got the love stamp from the Inspire Me range, and I'm just going to pop that down right as close as I can into the middle. And this is decorating with posca pens. So I'm just doing something a little different this time. I've just pushed my white pen down onto my sticker stencil, my heart, and I've sprayed it with some water so that I'm not going back and to, and I'm just giving it a very subtle coating. But of course that does make it very wet, so we will get a nice little watercolour effect, but we want it to be a bit clearer, so there will be 2 coats of posca going on, but because they're so diluted, the colour will be gradually built up. So here I am going around with my apple green, and I'm just filling in some circles, and then I've decided to take my aqua green and just fill in the smaller circles in the stamp. Nearly missed that one. There we go. What have we got now? That is the lilac. And as you can see, it's so diluted because of the wet surface, we're not actually seeing too much of it. So that will definitely need another coat. Okay, and this is the coral, and now we're on the red. And what I'd suggest is, find which one you want to, what you want to do, whether it's the outside of a circle in the red or the inside of a circle in the green, and just stick with it. So now I've got the yellow glitter posca pen. I love this. It just lifts everything, and it's blingy without being over the top. So now I'm using the purple glittery posca, and now I want you to just put that to one side and let it dry as we go back in time to look at how to make a template for the box. And here we go. It looks like I'm destroying it. Take the sleeve off your matchbox and flatten it out. For this, I'm just going to make myself a template. And I've just used some multifarious card and I'm drawing round the outside, and where there's a bend in the box, I'm just making like little lips. You can see this on the screen, so that when I cut it out, these will fold nicely over. It's almost like you're making a dress. Now on my template, I have just switched it round the other way so that all the side bits are exactly the same width. Okay, and now I'm just going to draw my lines so I can see where I need to fold them. And that's what I'm doing here. Okay, and now we're going to cut that out. Having a template just makes things go a little bit quicker next time. And if you're like me and you've got a whole load of matchboxes, there's going to be a next time. Righty-ho, now we're on to bending. So I'm using a palette knife here to just bend those lips over my ruler. And don't worry about those pencil marks. They are not going to be seen because this is just the template. Right, now that I've done the template, I'm checking that it's all going to fold over nicely, and I don't need those two lips, so I'm cutting them off. Hurrah! Okay. Welcome back, and now we're going to use that template. So pick some dreamscape papers, the colour that you like, and on the reverse side, if you draw around your template, you might take a little bit more time than me because obviously ain't nobody moves that quickly. And I'm just cutting around the outside. Drawing my lines down as you saw in the template, but this time this is going to be the one that goes onto our matchbox. Okay, there we go, job's a good one. Just bending it. This time I'm using a ruler, but you can use your palette knife like I showed you in the demonstration. There we go. And we are now ready to decorate the box. So I'm just using some Elements Ink Sundance, and I'm using what we already have on those papers. We've got circles and dots, and I like colouring those in, you know that. So here we go, we've got elements, confetti, and I'm just actually going to do a bit of colour across the box. So there's no line to it, it's more of a sweeping arc. So I'm getting that love stamp again from the Inspire Me stamps, and just checking that I'm happy with it. And I'm using VersaFine Claire Shady Lane. So the trick is with the words that you do one stamp going one way, one stamp going the opposite direction. And oddly enough, they will both be able to be read from the top. And you don't need to do the third love because that's going to be hidden with glue. Then I'm using the Blue Orbs stamp, and I am just using Medieval Blue VersaFine Claire. Doesn't have to be too much, it's just once or twice or thrice, and then we'll colour those in. With, yes, crack open the Posca pens, we're going in. So remembering what colours you've used before. So the aqua green, the apple green, and the red, and any other colours? Oh, the lilac. You might be wondering, why on earth are we using orbs instead of love hearts? Well, I didn't really fancy it being all love hearty and over the top, saccharine sweet. I thought, no, we're just going to write the word love and splash out on a whole load of colour to go with it. I think it's fabulous. So here we go. Here's another. And that, my lovelies, was coral, and this is now glittery yellow posca, which just, as I've said before, lifts it all, especially with the aqua green. Fab. If in doubt, dot it about. There we go. And now, that's our matchbox lid, remember? And we're putting the box back together. So I'm going to get some bibbidi bobbidi glue, which I've actually put on my craft mat, and I am just smearing it all over that box. And I'm lining it up so that my folds go in the right position. And this glue is amazing because it does. It does what it says. It sticks, which is fab. And I'm just going to glue those tabs down. That's what they are. They're tabs. Don't know why I was calling them lips. I prefer the word tabs. Okay. Super, 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 super. Okay, and I don't need to worry about those, so I'm just going to glue them over. I'm going to place some glue on that bit, and we are so close to having our box back together. It's ridiculous how easy this is. There we go, and with a little bit of persuasion, as in between finger and thumb, convince it that that's the way it wants to be. Now we're going to touch up the posca orbs on your heart. Okay, so do you remember me saying there was going to be 2 coats this time? Well, this is your second coat. We know where the colours are because you can see them. And the water has now dried. And you can see the coral is now coming to life, as is the green. And we want something nice and vibrant. So there's an aqua green posca. I do love that colour. It just takes everything to another dimension. Little bit of white accenting, and then I'm going to do something a little peculiar. Can you see how I'm just adding extra white around the area that I want it to be seen? I'm now going to get my paintbrush and gently smudge that in so that it's not this horrid white line. I'm just putting some white accents on the top of the love. And we're going to add some subtle blingage. Here we go. Cosmic Shimmer, Metallic Gilding Polish, Copper Shine. So I opened the lid, popped the sponge in, giving it a swirl around on the mat, and I'm just using it to tidy up those corners. It's amazing how forgiving this paste is. Paste, polish, yeah. It's polish, but it's stunning stuff. Just gluing down this lid. This is our little drawer that goes back in the matchbox. And because I don't want it to fall apart, I'm gluing it. There we go. Job's a good one. And you might think, well, what's she going to do now? Well, back to that Cosmic Shimmer Gilding Polish. Goodness me, Copper Shine, here we go, all the way round the outside. It's just one coat. Look at how amazing that is. It's a bit of a game changer for me. Fab. I mean, goodness me, didn't even take a minute. You can do a second coat if you want to, but you don't have to. And now, my friends, we're back to the heart, and it is shrinking time. I know we're all over the place with this, but it's got a lot of drying time in between, so it's a case of put things to one side and come back to them. So there we are. It's dry, we've cut it out, and now it's time to shrink it. Remember to hold on to your heart, otherwise I'm afraid it might fly away. And you don't want to lose your heart, do you? There we go. Good old squidge to make sure it's nice and flat. And guess what? Here comes that gilding polish again. I'm just going to do the edges. Do you know why? Because it sort of brings it all together and ties it in with our matchbox. I've done the back as well. And the joy of this is that you can just turn it over because it's more or less dry. And while I'm waiting for that, I've got some caddy paper. Now, they have the mini zigzag cards or the mini heart cards, and you can use either. And just rip it up so that it would fit your heart in the middle and fit into your drawer of your matchbox. And look at that, it just gives it a little bit of something else, doesn't it? Something else. Love it. Glossy accents your heart to protect it. And it also makes it just look that little bit extra something. And I've got some shredded bauble filler paper. Now pop your heart on the paper, pop your paper in the drawer, close your matchbox, and you, my lovelies, you've done it. How amazing is that? Lovely little gift. Well done. I really enjoyed making this. It's so special. You know, it's just this lovely little box. You could turn this, you know, into a brooch. See, I've got one already, haven't I? But you could turn that into a brooch. If you wanted to, add a couple of holes and do 2 of them and you could have earrings. You could do anything with them, really. But it's just, I think, quite nice. Pop it on a glue dot and stick it on that paper that we sorted earlier, the caddy paper. And that's just quite a nice little memento to remind somebody that they're cared about. And goodness knows we all need to be cared about, don't we? Anyway, enough of my jibber jabber. Thank you for watching. And any questions, pop them in the post below and I'll do my best to answer them. Any comments, any questions? Questions are fabulous. There's no such thing as a silly question as long as it's craft related. Okay, and I will hopefully see you next time. Take care. Bye.